Well, welcome back, kiddies, ladies, gentlemen of all shapes and sizes, for our next matchup here in the JSL round of 8. We just had a follow. I'm not sure who that was. Follows are turned off for those. I'll have to get to that in a second. Actually, just go ahead and fire up that Twitch alerts right now here. You know, early games, always very entertaining to see what both players are up to, but nothing too crazy. Alpha Jets, thank you for the follow, man. I greatly appreciate that. But without further ado, let's get these introductions on the way, shall we? Spawning into the bottom left-hand corner, the purple Terran pieces. Look like he's going to go for a General Reaper expand here. He goes by the name of Reege. I'm assuming it's Reege, so that's what we're going to go with. And in the top right-hand corner, his opponent, a fellow member of Inside Gaming, the orange Zerg pieces of InnerOrbiter. Going to go into a very general 17 hatch, 17 pull. Need to double check something here real quick, guys. Just to make sure that last recording was done correctly. Looks like it was. Okay. Don't need to be messing up the footage. Anyway, looks like we are going to see that General Reaper expand coming down here for our purple Terran. Now, I've seen InnerOrbiter play a couple times, and he's always used like ZVC this weird Ling Bling Roach composition, and you know it really didn't seem to work out. He seemed to finally be, you know, straightening that out a little bit. We do see him here in the quarterfinals. So it looks like he is able to straighten that out. Or he just, you know, finally got some ZVT action going on and managed to get through everything. Queen's coming down now, and 6 Lings on a production tab. Now these are generally just going to be used for scouting or, you know, to get rid of some cheeky Reapers that are on the map. Actually, where is the Reaper? The Reaper out yet? Okay, there's the Reaper. So this time around we do see some bio play coming down by the looks of it. Out of our purple Terran, as we do have a 2-1-1 coming down with that Reaper expand. And now, this is pretty much just a bread and butter type of build for a Terran player. So, it's been very easily figured out in the past, and, you know, it's still going to be very easily figured out once again as soon as, you know, Inner gets the ideas, you know, gets the idea of what's going on here. This Reaper is trying to frantically get up this ramp to scout. He is going to scout a third, but he's going to get chased away by these Lings, so you will not be able to see exactly what his opponent is up to. Reaper Grenade kind of came down there with Dia, you know, just kind of get the Lings off his tail. Not really making any kind of connection, just a bit of zoning. Now, the one thing I wish Reege would have remembered is that, again, guys, there was a jump up added here on Blackpink, solely just to give Terran the advantage to jump up this ramp. Now, so with that being said, in TVT, what I started doing is I actually just started, you know, throwing down a barracks here, my first barracks, just to block that jump up. And then I just kind of wall this off over here and put a couple Marines, and the Reaper never gets in. Anyway, InnerOrbiter is going to go ahead and push out across the map to see exactly what is going on this Terran side of the map here. Trying to figure out what all he can get done. This Reaper going to get picked off. Or not. A little bit of a micro there to keep that Linger alive. Saves the Reaper. We get a 2-1-1 on the way, but Inner does get in here and scout exactly what his opponent is up to. Now, with that being said, he can just go back home. He should have a Bailing Nest coming down here very shortly. He's getting some gas. Basically, you have like a number of ways of deflecting this as a Zerg at this point. You know, you could go ahead and pop out like 4 more Queens to just group them up and be ready for the drop. You know, as long as you have the map covered with Overlords, you can see exactly where it's coming in at. You can just easily deflect this. Now, with that being said, I would have liked to see a Viking start up here first, so that way you can get a head start in clearing out the Overlords. Is I feel that's just exactly what you do as a Terran. You just need to clean up the Overlords for your drop to be successful. Otherwise, again, he just pops out 6 more Queens, and just, you know, that's the end of your drop. And losing that early game drop is absolutely crucial to whether or not Zerg can, you know, stay alive long enough to actually deal with anything later that Terran has. But here we go, the drops are loading up. Going to be pushed out across the map here. And he actually dodges all the Overlords, so he doesn't know about where they would be at. His drop is heading for the third base. Now, this third base of Reege is also very much under siege now. Reaper going to come down here and shoot his Lings off. Probably give away. You know, he is probably going to get picked off here. He does unfurl that Widow Mine. SCV building that command center is also picked up. But meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the drop does unload. The first medevac being focused down. Gonna have to pull these drones out of here as these queens do it, or queen does die. Third base now under siege. Should end up getting picked off. That's gonna be a very decent snipe there for Reege. Now back home, he's got still not building the third base. If he could finish up this third, he'd be in a very good position in terms of base count. Now, Inner's is gonna go ahead and expand up here to this low ground expansion. I feel this is kind of one the Zerg should honestly take more often because it's a lot easier to defend as a Zerg player. You know, the creep could just be pushed up to top of this ramp, push some overlords to the top of this ramp. And it's a lot easier to defend than trying to push up a ramp into like two different angles. But at the same time, Zerg can kind of swarm a little bit better, I guess, here. But like typical Zerg fashion, you kill one base, they're just going to expand somewhere else and retake that expansion anyway. The Ling Patrol is here. We got a drop coming in once again. The CP can't get this one down once more. We does see the Lings here. It's just going to get on out of here with that drop. Ling's going to wind up following this drop around the map. Queen getting to work on one of those medevacs. But on the other side of the map, being forced to lift off this third base. As these Marines are here to try and clean up these Lings. There's not a lot here. Just find the Overlord here. But here we go. Going to walk up here and clean up these Lings. Where did the drop go? Did the drop actually die yet? No, the drop's hanging out above the Zilnaga watchtower. Yeah, so far, Reege hasn't really gotten too much shot. I mean, he's killed a third base. That was about it so far. At this point in time, I mean, yeah, we do see the infestation pit coming down, so we will see the hive tech on the way. Hydrogen is done as well. So now, InnerOrbiter has quite a few different options to his name. He can go into the Lurker tech. He can even go into Ultras at this point. You know, really starting to try and deal with this bio army in a number of different ways. Even the Broodlords coming down would be a very key thing. Because as far as I can tell, Reege really doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, he doesn't know at all. I mean, he knows about a third base being built once again, but outside that, he knows about nothing about his opponent on the other side of the map right now. Is Drop going to get in here and try and figure that out? He's going to pick off this Overlord. Okay, he's going to load up and head to the natural. Now that's a big tell. There are already Queens in position here. One of these medevacs already very battered and bruised. Bailey's morphing in on the low ground. Ulti out. There we go. Now I got a little more vision to see exactly what's going on here. We'd like to see a bit of army in the main base. His drop's still hanging out here, so Inner knows his drop is here, so he's just not going to leave it. Actually pretty funny. Now, I love this Overlord. Is actually very easily killable, and Reege still doesn't come over and kill that. You know, there's a lot going on right now in Reggie's mind, trying to figure out how to get to the Zerg base and deal some damage with this drop. At the same time, okay, he finally sees this Overlord. He's going to go ahead and start shooting at it. The Overlord has done his job today, folks. But I do have a fourth base going down, and I very, very much disagree with where Reege is expanding to right now, guys. Like, going further away from your natural as a Terran, trying to secure your fourth base on a map like Black-Pink when you have a very easily obtainable base right down here in front of your main, it's a huge risk. I mean, look how far your army has to travel to actually defend that. There we go. Hydra Ling Bling is a choice that we knew would be coming down here for Inner. It's a very standard play right now in the TVZ, ZVP matchups. Inner just getting his fifth base up and running here. So we hit a bit of a macro point in this game. But both players are just going to kind of hang out. This gives us time to check out the eye pistol. Advanced targeting while you get into the groove, guys. Put on your favorite tunes and start blasting away at these pesky zerglings. There we go. Inner's going to shift down to the south here. Trying to find a bit of a position. He knows exactly where this army is moving out. Now, again, I would love to see... Okay, Ultra's Cavern on the way. That's exactly what I was hoping to see. Is either that or the Spire. And going into this bio army, there needs to be some infestors with this to really make it work. He did just finish up some more banelings. So if you were to get some infestors, granted you can't burrow and fungal anymore, guys. Infestors are still a very key unit in a Zerg army to just stopping any kind of bio composition. So not having any infestors with that army right now, it's actually kind of a no-no here. Losing quite a few Widow Mines there, and there's a lot of banelings here, and not able to split here. He's trying to bait. Finding some decent connections, but he didn't find it in all the banelings. He is able to clean up the banelings at the end there. Gotta be careful about overstimming his army. A couple Vipers all the way out as well here. I guess we're going to see Inner try to go for some clouds to try and help deal with this Terran army. There's no tanks. It's just Marine Marauder Medevac Mine. This fourth base once again under siege here. Now, I don't imagine Inner's going to try and defend this. I'm just going to let it go. He does have the base up here to the north. But if he can kind of trap this Terran army, it's just going to step forward once again. There's no Ultras on the map yet. That's what he needs. He needs Ultras rather than Lings and Banelings. We got the first two Ultras are on the way. And he does push us back for now. The drop going to load up here and get on out of here. The damage has been dealt. To this other side of the map, he's just going to rotate back around, and this is general Terran behavior right here. If you can't hit too much more on the one side of the map, you just rotate back around and start hitting the other. One medevac full of Marines is going to get picked off there. I'd say it's a bad day to be a Terran when you're stuck in a medevac woods. Even though that medic flying that medevac may very much love the Marine. I was going to say, is there some audio? But you know, you get the Supernova. The dancing hologram billboard. I'm not sure too much of that. His Twitch rolls are very, very weird right now. There you go. InnerOrbiter has moved up to this Hydra Ling Bling Ultra composition. You know, very beefy, very hard-hitting composition indeed. This fourth base just now getting morphed into an orbital command center. And again, this is one of the times you should be making a planetary, not an orbital command. But I guess in this situation, you know, if you gotta pick up and fly on out of here. Okay, so now the Ultras have been revealed and kite splitting is done. There are a number of ways to counter this as Terra now. You can go into the Ghost. It's a very costly type of style of play. But it can be done. He busts up the sights from these Ultras and the Ultras will disappear. Liberator's on the way, and I love how Inner is just very much like predicting this ahead of time. It's going to start pulling these Liberators out, pulling some medevacs out here to trip this army. Well, get that Viper out of here. I would love to see a parasitic bomb on these medevacs right now. That would be absolutely huge. He doesn't have enough for parasitic bomb, but if you put a parasitic bomb on these medevacs, oh, the healing factor's gone. That'd be absolutely disgusting. A little bit too much F2 actually going on right now for Reggie as well. He's having a very good choke point set up here with his Liberator. He's going to pick up a couple links. Zerg army going to find exactly where his commander is and stem forward. The Ultra's under siege. Getting focused down by this Marauder army. This is starting to be a very heavy Marauder army. Plus 3 Carapace on the way, so you've got to bump this armor up to 5-3. But as I was saying, you do have a way of countering Ultras very effectively right now as Terran is, again, go to a heavy Marauder army. Or just, you know, generally get some Ravens out. Guys, that new Shredder missile, absolutely disgusting at killing armies like this. But with that, GG gonna get called out. And InnerOrbiter will take game number 1 in this best of 3 series in the quarterfinals. We'll be right back with you guys for game number 2. As I said, moving right along. I thought we were about to load into like a co-op game or something with that background. But I'm going Adventuring to a new map in the map pool once again. One that is very much Zerg favored in all regards. My personal opinion anyway. It is Backwater LE, and I'll explain that reasoning here very shortly. Now, in the top left-hand corner, we have the purple Terran pieces. He goes by the name of Reege. Sporting that lovely Nova emblem outside his base there. Look like he's going to go to that General Reaper expand type of play once again. And in the bottom right-hand corner, his opponent, currently up 1-0 in the series, the orange Zerg pieces of InnerOrbiter from Inside Gaming. Gonna go for a 17 hatch, 17 pool by the looks of it. Now, what I was saying about this map being Zerg favored, okay, look at how you expand on this map. Your 5th and 6th base are really far away as a Zerg, but getting 4 base, you can do it relatively easily. You can, I mean, but to drop a very inappropriate word there on this cast, I didn't want to do that. But anyway, with that being said, Zerg can just straight expand to the north, alright? Take the 3rd base in less than a minute. Should you decide to go for that kind of play, you know, skip the spawning pool, skip your gas, and just immediately go to a 3rd base. Now, the problem with that is if it gets scouted, it's very easily punishable. And it's very greedy style of play. And with a Reaper coming out here, it's going to say why it's going to be very easily spotted and dealt with. Now, a couple of things about Backwater LE. There is a bit of a cheeky Reaper jump up here. I'm pretty sure Reapers can get across that. I haven't tried it yet. This right here, if anybody in chat could tell me, can Reapers jump across that, I would greatly appreciate it. Might affect how I play some TVTs in the future. I mean, we are going to see a bit of a mech transition by the looks of it. Or 1-1-1 style opening. Is there a reactor thrown down? I do believe it will be a reactor next. There we go. Reaper going to make his way across the map. Across the water of Backwater LE. I always love some of these maps where people get their inspiration for them. Just like a swamp world. Like a random flooded Terran camp over here. Anyway, is Reaper going to get shooed away with some wings? Everybody trying to send that Reaper up the front. This map is very turtle favored and Terran favored in that regards as well. A couple southern expansions on the map. There isn't a map I'm probably going to keep in a map pool personally because one of the rules that are met, no gold bases. I don't like gold bases, guys. Gold bases are like the worst thing ever. Here we go. So we're going to actually have a bit of a marine mine push coming. I mean, okay, so there's a medevac on the way as well. Now, this is a very hard-hitting push. The changes to the Widow Mine being very real. They now build it 21 seconds versus 28. Bit of a friendly fire on those Widow Mines there. It does clean up quite a few of his other marine. I think they would have figured that out. Don't fire if there's nearby. Is that a cyclone in the back of that? That's like some kind of turret or something like that. Like a machine gun turret, a Raven turret. In the back of that pickup. But anyway, we do have some cyclones on the way out now as well. Medevacs coming down as or, you know, about to fly out of this starport here. I was about to say as well, coming down. I mean, it seemed like they're crashing, but, you know, we're going to let that go. It's going to fly away into the wild blue yonder. Can't tell if the sky's blue or not here. This Overlord going to not live to float another day. But he does get here and get a full scout off on exactly what his Terran opponent is up to. So really hanging outside the base here just to make sure he can be ready for any kind of aggression. And again, this is what I'm talking about. You see, Zerg on 3 base. I mean, this 3rd base should have been taken a lot sooner. But all in all, I mean, he definitely is able just to secure 3 base with relative ease. Now, one thing I would like to point out, there's no high ground advantage on the ramp here. So, like, there's no ramp out front. It's very much just flat ground all the way across the map. Until you hit the river that runs through the middle. We have a couple more barracks. Stim is on the production tab. Marauders starting to come out. Tanks starting to come out. This will look like just your general, standard, Terran, Marine, tank style push coming out. Should see this push hit about, you know, about the 9-minute mark. That's generally what Terrans like to be maxed out by is at 9 minutes. And are also just kind of building up his forces as well. Both players playing that macro game. We do have a layer on the way. Failing this behind us as well. So Hydra Ling Bling. Going to be the composition of choice here for InnerOrbiter. Reggie just going for a general marine, marauder, medevac tank type army. So yeah, we just got about another 3 minutes or so before we actually see any action probably pick up on this map. I mean, there's no drops coming out here from Reggie. It's one map you could probably get away with. There's quite a few dark areas around the map, especially in lower league play. But InnerOrbiter's got a, very well spread here going on so far. I mean, it's kind of a dark spot up the middle, but again, as the observers, we can see that. Players, not so much. But again, 4th base coming down here, as I say, very easily obtainable 4th base, easily to defend 4th base. As Inner's like, okay, you're going to let me expand again? Alright, alright. Now, I would like to see a 3rd base started here for Terran relatively soon, unless his boost just looks like a 2-base push. Yeah, I would love to see a 3rd base started up here for Terran. Maybe a wall off as well at the front to better defend that natural base. But again, as we do reach a bit of a standoff here. Not a whole lot going on. I don't like to skip the macro phases of the game. I know it's slow and very tedious, and like these lower league plays, there's not a whole lot going on. Whereas like macro in a higher league play, you always see some kind of army movement to kind of pick things up. But here we go. Terran is going to move out with this very hefty bio army backslash of siege tanks and Widow Mines as well. Widow Mines are going to go ahead and burrows, and Creek going to get cleaned up here. Tank's going to siege up on this choke point right here in the front. Now, Zerg can very easily run around from behind and start picking off these tanks, but this army of Hydra Ling Bling, once when he gets choked in like this, isn't going to be able to do much of anything. Now, we do have the siege tank crawl starting. This Terran slowly pushes forward further into Zerg territory by unsieging everything and moving it a little bit at a time. Here we go. The Widow Mines are going to come out and find a huge connection there. Bailey's also finding a very decent connection, but looks like Inner playing a little bit too greedy here. Oh, he went for the Nidus network. He's trying to play a cheeky Nidus play. But for all his armies being forced to defend up front. And that should be it. It's a Queen's Fall. And as Reggie continues to push forward, the Nidus network now under siege as well. Drones getting pulled off the line, but drones versus bio, we all know how this one ends up. And just like that, it looks like Reggie will secure game number 2 in his favor. I don't see a whole lot here Ender can actually do in order to actually win this flat out. He's trying to get some army down here, but as it comes in at different angles, it doesn't end up dying off a lot either. Now the Hydra Den is going to start to bleed out here very, very shortly as the creep does die away. Reege actually tucked into a pretty tight spot here. But GG, well played, going to be called out, and Reggie does secure himself game number 2, forcing a game 3 in this series. It's really a well played series so far, guys. And here we go, the final game of this best of 3 series. Looks like we're going to Neon Violet Square LE, home of the pachinko machines. Spawning in the top left hand corner, the purple Zerg or Terran player, currently tying the series up at 1 apiece. On ace point, he goes by the name of Reggie. Trying to do too much at one time. And in the top right hand corner, the orange Zerg player. From Inside Gaming, he goes by the name of InnerOrbiter. I take care of some bit of admin nonsense going around here. In terms of Insight Gaming, managing team is sometimes annoying, but hey. I said that out loud. I love you guys, but you guys do make it very tedious sometimes. It's just simple logic questions that, you know, would be nice to have answered once in a while. Anyway, enough about that. Sorry I said that loud. I try to keep stuff out like that out of my casts, you know, my streams. Was he on Chobo or Nidus? We do have our 17 gas, 17 pool coming down here. You know, some of the requires guys from these leagues aren't that hard to meet. I mean, they make a good point. If you just play ladder, you'll get your games in. I mean, 10 games a week for a Chobo really isn't that hard to do. Personally, I'm behind because I haven't really been playing ladder as much as I should. But, you know, it's not that high a requirement just to get your games in to play a Chobo Night. This Reaper's popping in here. Going to get in here and take a look around and try to see what he can get accomplished, which isn't going to be much. Now, Neon Violet Square is a map that, honestly, if I were to keep it in the ladder, I wouldn't open Reaper anymore. I would just SCV scout, find out what my opponent is up to, and from there proceed into just like my general bio player or Sky Terran player if that's what I decide to go for. Now, push worked once before. Looks like Reggie's wanting to do it again, but the problem with this, Neon Violet is a much bigger map than it looks. I mean, you got these purple slots, like pachinko blocks around the map, which you have to move back and forth in between with your tanks, and you know, Marines will walk right through these, but tanks have to come all the way up and around into this segment over here. So, you know, best way to do that as a terrorist is to pick them up and fly them with your army. Sorry about the personal rant, by the way, guys. Like I said, I try to keep that all fair, but sometimes it just gets me. What's this Marine shooting at? Oh, there's the Overlord. I'm like, where's the Overlord? Float, good buddy. Wouldn't mind finding a very decent connection there this time. Not too much friendly fire except for one Marine. Oh, he will live. Nope, he dies. Poor Overlord. He didn't ask for this. But it does give a very big tell as to what is coming up here for our Purple Terran player. Now, he is on the clock. If you would have made a timing before this Widow Mine was actually done, or reset, he should have gone. So he could get here to snipe out this Widow Mine and not waiting for the Banelings. He could have cleaned this up very, very easily. But here we go. About to see the Baneling push come in here. Couple lings up front here in order to trigger that Widow Mine that is to help defend. Without minimizing too much damage. Okay, I was about to say, that Widow Mine finding a decent connection, but there's still enough left there. Over 3 SCVs falling so far. 7, 8 going down now as well. And is that just too much damage? I mean, this tank is now under siege as well, and he can't really micro it because the medevac is full. He does get the tank up in time, but he does clear the last of the Widow or lings here. But quite a bit of economic damage has already been done. Now, as Terran, he can just go ahead and throw down the mules, but the thing with that, he has to wait for the energy. He muled ahead of time before this aggression came in. And guys, this is why you wall off as a Terran. If you wall off as a Terran, you're generally much safer from aggression like that. And you're going to force a lot of Banelings to be used just to break that wall. Anyway, so we chill out here and just kind of hang out. do see a Baneling drop get ready to come in here. Now, this is going to be a very interesting change-up. Now, Reege is kind of on the back foot. Now, this is where you hit the panic switch in order to get your third base. You kind of have to take it in the back here. At this third base on Neon Violet, it only has enough for 8 workers and there's 2 gas still. I mean, that is there and able to be taken. But here we go. We're going to pick up and fly right in here into this main base. Come in here and find even more damage. Now, at this point, InnerOrbiter is having fun with it. I think he knows at this point that he's in a very good position. He's going to get in here and engagement at the front. There's no mines here, but this time there are tanks and a lot of friendly fire going down on top of these Marines as well. But hold the phone, the real shell game's right here in the back as the SCVs get pummeled by another drop of Banelings in the main. Nasty, says Reege. But that is how you play the game, man. Look one place, hitting the other. And now that this Overlord is gone to float away, he can easily reinforce this with another drop. The economy is absolutely in tatters right now for Reege, and he's building army. I mean, guys, mules are strong, but they aren't that strong. It's coming from someone who wins off the back of like 38 SCVs, like game after game. Take my word for it. That is a very tough style of game to play when you have a low worker count game as a Terran. Mules are just like to tide you over in situations like that. That's about it. But now, Inner's just going to kind of spread his army out back home in the main. He doesn't have a lair just yet. Looks like he's just going to take his 30. You know, he's just going to get a macro into a bit more of a macro game this time. Viking coming out here to shoo away that Dropalord. So 23 workers to 56 is not where you want to be, especially if you're just playing this really passive game as Terran. But no wall off at the front. You can't even push out here because like that wall is going to stall like any kind of aggression on the map. Now again, we've just hit this macro phase. Now, Inner looks like he's just going to go right up into his lair. From there, he's going to go throw down another Evo Chamber, double up on upgrades, going to go to the Hydras behind this. Playing a style of Hydra Ling Bling that has very much been the standards for the past few ladder rotations. The days of Muto Ling Bling are long since over, since there have been a lot of counters to that come out now. The lone SCV working long hours into the night, just trying to feed his family with crystals that get taken by the Dominion Overlord. I've always wondered how exactly crystals and gas convert into like tanks and Marines. I guess in Protoss area, your army is like kind of made of a weird crystal alloy or something, like a metal. But in terms of Terran, it's like, I guess the same armor or metal and flesh. How do you turn that into humans fighting from a barracks? Are you recruiting from somewhere? Is that what, I guess that makes sense. There we go. InnerOrbiter going to go ahead and move out across the map here. Some Hydras and Banelings, try and find a little bit more damage, I guess, on the Terran side of the map. Being super cheeky, looking for any kind of expos. He does find exactly where his entire Terran army is. And this is why it's very bad to F2 around the map. I mean, what is to stop Inner at this point from just running up this ramp and killing off a whole bunch of SCVs? Or getting into the main base and killing off some production here? I guess he feels that there's about to be an attack coming. I would like to see some centrifugal hooks come down. The Infestation Pit and Hydra's on the way as well. So again, the Hydra Ling Bling composition coming down for InnerOrbiter. Army supply is not in his favor right now, but as there you can very easily just max out right away. Now he does confirm his suspicions that there is an attack coming. And when it links to Banelings, it just comes down to how well you connect. If this army clumps up too much, then yeah, that's going to be a bad day for Terran. But he's just going to knock down these rocks, move up into this kind of the low ground section here. Make it a little bit easier for his army to move across the map. And here we go. Which he's just going to push forward here. There is a little bit of creep to kind of give away of exactly what this army is up to. What is going on here? Inner, you gotta come back and defend this, man. You can't let this go. A lot of damage is gonna get done now. Your upgrades are gonna get canceled out. But here we go. The Lynx is running right into this pile of Marines. He needs to get here and start cleaning up the tanks. The Bailey's rolling in behind us. They are going to roll right into the tanks. What is going on here? Yeah, I'm a little curious as to how Inner holds this. I mean, does he hold this? I don't see any way he can. He's getting more Lings out. This tank in the back, very, very exposed. He just lost all his tech. And this Terran army is on the warpath. I mean, it's starting to come after every expansion he has. More Lings get ready to pop out here. The tank is on siege. 10 Bailey's getting morphed in here. Drones also getting pulled off to this expansion to the north. I mean, they should be going up here just in mine. As this base is going to get found up here. I think Reggie's just going the wrong way. Yeah, Reggie's going the wrong way. He should be heading south to get the spawning pool, get this base in the bottom here. You are finding a lot of damage. 18, 20 drones going down now. 27 in total. It's just going to move back south. Now, this was to buy time, I'm assuming, for the Banelings to morph in wherever they are. What exactly do you have in store for us, Inner? I mean... Wow, well played. Congrats. What? It was he left. Reggie wins. And a 2-1 upset over InnerOrbiter. Hold on a second. This... Wow, man. Bit of a misread on that situation. Winds up closing out that game there for Reggie to secure that win. Alright, guys. I'll be right back with you guys for the last series of the round of 8. As congratulations to Reggie for winning that one.